Hello and a very warm welcome to you all. This is the Misfits Racing League Tier 4 live from the Hungaroring in Hungary near Budapest. Of course, this tricky circuit with 14 turns provides plenty of challenge actually to our drivers tonight. So we'll be seeing a lot of interesting action here this time round. We are now in the 9th round on the calendar, so we're well past halfway this season. Round 9 of 15, of course, with the closing round finishing this season off in Brazil. My name is Frostbreath and I'm bringing this to you live here from my own home actually. Not technically in Hungary at the moment, so yeah, that's a thing. Anyway, let's have a little look at the standings here tonight and see that Grenade Goran is now in the lead in this tier after Polypunk had a fairly disappointing race last time around. However, the difference is only 10 points, so anything can happen still basically, and there's still 7 rounds to go. This one counting with that, of course. The only one currently without any points is Super Noodle Bagel. That's quite a mouthful in several different ways. No points on the board for him yet, so if he is here tonight, and I can confirm that he is, he'll be trying to get those well-needed points, not only for himself, but for his team as well, as Alpha Tauri is only 9th in the standings, just Williams behind them, with Lars and Blind in 15th and 19th place. Anyway, the championship is still wide open, and you might be thinking, who's this commentating here for MRL? Well, my name is Frostbreath. As I said before, I am from the Netherlands, 31 years old, currently also commentating for another racing league, AOR Tier 2, and I have been invited by the man, the legend, Brainstew, to commentate for this league as well. So it is actually going to be very interesting. I'm really looking forward to this and see how things will go. I am a very big Formula 1 fan, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't really be here. I do race myself. I'm not as fast as these guys in Tier 4, I don't think. Currently racing in CFR, and I'm entirely sure if that name's familiar. Not doing too bad myself there. But that's besides the point, of course. You're all interested in seeing how this championship will unfold. Thank you for all the warm welcomes on Twitter, in here in the chat, of course, and on the Discord. And I'm really looking forward to providing some interesting action here on the track for you. I can already see people going and cheering for Alfa Romeo and, of course, hashtag Team Mercedes. Thank you, Kieran, for the welcome. And I already saw the hype train passing by, a big choo-choo, no steam train though, because that's a bit old. So we are about to start. The lobby is still currently filling up, so we're just waiting for that go signal. I've been provided with all these fancy transmissions and graphics and all this beautiful stuff. It's all looking really cool. And I am very happy to be here with you guys tonight. Please do let me know if anything can be improved. Any feedback is always appreciated, as I'm, to be fair, quite new to commentating still. Not been doing it for very long, about 2 months since I tried it out for the first time. And this is actually the first time I'm using OBS to stream. And it looks like it's actually quite smooth. So smooth, in fact, that I'm now daring to try and stream in 1080p 60 frames per second. So it should be super smooth, butter smooth almost, for you guys watching out there. Can't unfortunately see how many viewers we have, as the chat had to be opened separately on my Firefox browser. But it is going to be awesome tonight. The lobby is now full, so I believe we'll be underway any second now, and then the action will get going. As I said before, Mercedes and Alfa Romeo are being cheered for. They are currently P4 and P6 in the standings, as far as I can see. So, yes, they can definitely use some cheering if they wish to go any higher in the standings, of course. So then, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's all right. Everybody hyped, everybody ready, as I do know that there's here a combined championship of sorts. That basically means that all the tiers points are counting towards their team. So the fact that Ferrari is currently in the lead in Tier 4 doesn't mean they're in the lead in the overall standings. It's going to be good. So what will happen tonight? Things I'm curious about is, can Grenade Goran extend his championship lead further? Will Polypunk be able to fight back? And what can Dazdun, sitting in P3 currently with 83 points? So it's not too bad for him either. I am alone today, yes. I am the solo commentator on Tier 4, and I will be until, I guess, somebody else is going to be found. But you will be finding out that this Thursday I'll be commentating alongside Dan Field for Tier 1. But for now, of course, it's going to be just me. So then, we're about to get going. Tire choices are currently being made. Of course, those tire choices are very hard. They're mostly the same for everybody. And let's have a look at the pit lane. Welcome to Hungary, actually. That is the wrong transition. I still need to get used to this. I do apologize about that, sorry. All the transition stuff in OBS is still pretty new. And it takes a while to get used to. But here we are then, actually in the pit lane. And look at all the action. Well, there's not plenty, and there's not any action going on just yet. And already 40 seconds have passed. If anybody could update me about the weather, if any of the drivers is watching or listening, of course, that would be great. As a streamer and commentator and spectator, I cannot see those weather forecasts, but it looks like it's going to be very sunny during qualifying. Although you never really know. I found out and learned that throughout this session, things can change very quickly. And especially, of course, since Hungary is currently very much inland, weather changes might be pretty unpredictable. First one out then is the current second placed driver in the driver standings, Polypunk, now on his outlap, driver number 74, and of course on the soft tires. Now the interesting thing is, often people are yelling at each other about strategies on this track. Whether you're going to go with medium tires, if you'd like to go with soft tires. Thing is though, both might just work out fine, and there have been several people confirming that the soft-medium strategy might actually work on this track. So it's just waiting to find out, and in fact let's have a little look at all the tires people are putting on, and it's all soft tires at the moment. Yes, I am Frostbreath, I am commentating here. I'm very new, and you'll be hearing me in Tier 4 every Monday from here on out, hopefully. So then, the first one to start his lap will be this man. Let's have a little look at all the details here. Polypunk then on his hot lap. Several people currently coming out of the pit lane. They shouldn't be any problem. And I've just been confirmed that there is going to be a dry to wet race. So that's going to be good. That's going to be very good. Which might explain why everybody is trying to get their times in on the softs, because, you know, tire strategy is probably going into the bin and when rain is going to hit. So then Polypunk now, oh, that's a bit of a slippery moment there, but it looks like he went through that corner just fine. It looked like a bit of an oversteering moment there on those higher curbs, which are always very dangerous, especially in this game where curbs more often than not just mean your death. Well, technically. And already we have a disqualification. Blind has been disqualified for blocking the pit lane. How is that possible? Blind then already out of qualifying. Oh dear, I don't think it was intentional. I think he was trying to wait for the faster guys to get past. It's not a great start for him though, as Polypunk is now coming around the final corner. And onto the main straight. It's a 15.4 to start with. That's quite a strong time there, but I do expect people to go into the 1 minute 14s, if I'm honest. So almost everybody is now on their hot lap, and I see a daring Red Bull in the pit lane waiting on their medium tires, as Grenade Goran, the championship contender, has moved in below Polypunk with a 15.7, and Lars, Evermare Lars, was just 100th quicker than Polypunk there with a... Oh, that's quite wrong from me. It's actually 4 100ths quicker than Polypunk, so things are looking very, very tight indeed. Yeah, speaking of jinxing, I'm quite good at doing that, so please forgive me if I accidentally jinx things here tonight. It might just happen, you never know. I see here several other people are coming in. Disaster is now in P3. PW Jones, 5th place at the moment. Tats is in P6. 4-door sedan driving his 0-door open wheeler now in P9, as many times are flying in, and Baclau, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right, in his Haas is now the fastest man on the track at this moment. Both AlphaTauri is now crossing the line, and Super Noodle Bago, who's still without any points, is now slotting into P7 with a 16-1. So that's quite good. Let's have a little look, by the way, at our daring Red Bull driver here, Big Turbina, in car number 23, coincidentally the same number as Alex Albon. Is going to try something on the medium tires. I am interested to see what he can do on those medium tires. Just a little side note here, if you see any severe frame drops, please let me know. I'm trying to figure out whether I can actually stream in 1080p 60 FPS. While we're actually looking at the daring driver, Big Turbina, one way or another. And his teammate Alexander, who's just put in the fastest time of this session so far, a 14.988. Alexander then doing quite well. And interestingly, the top two are now in 4th and 6th place. So they might have to come out again to give a second try here at their qualifying, which they will most likely do, as you've always got 3 sets of soft tires to get yourself up to speed. And we all know that the track improves. The Pro prediction time, I'm not very good at predicting, but I do think they can go 3, maybe even 4 tenths faster than he currently the fastest time is. So we might see a 1:14.7, maybe even a 1:14.6. Let's see what Big Turbina can do on his medium tires. Only 16th fastest. I was kind of afraid of that. So, dearie, let's see what he can do. I think he's going to be forced to go into the soft tires, and I can see that XTXP is currently with medium tires waiting in the pit lane, but he probably is realizing right now that it isn't the greatest idea to try those tires. Let's have a look here then at Undertaker, currently P50, one of the few cars out of track, as quite a few are now... Ooh, that's a bit of an oversteering moment there actually, as he's now 1/10 quicker than his previous time. That should bring him, well, barely up actually. He's gonna have to find a lot more here, but the thing is, 2/10 is already enough to move you into the top 10. And it was already close to those 2/10 you need then. So let's have a look then. Across the line he comes, and it is a 16-0. P7. Baclau then, on a fast outlap there. Look at him go then. That was quite the aggressive going in there at the end of the first sector. Trying to heat up his tires. Track limits aren't important yet. Of course, you still need to follow the track. I don't believe you can just cut the track to save time, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Interestingly, I'd like to know, you guys know this group a lot better than I do, as I'm pretty new to this, who might be your winner of today? Will it be Grenade Goran again? Might it be Polypunk? Might it be somebody else? I'm curious to know. There he comes then, Baclau. Onwards to the main straight. He needs to gain about 4/10 in order to beat Alexander. So that is a lot of time to find. And there I was being optimistic, predicting that the pole time could even be 2 or 3 tenths faster than that 14.9. Maybe I was a bit too optimistic, I'll be honest. But let's find out. I already see somebody has spun a bit further on track, and it's actually Lars. The guy currently sitting in 3rd place has spun on track. So that's not good. He's gonna have to retry and let several people past, including Baklao. And already he's getting the support from teammates there. They're being very impressed, so it's gotta be interesting as BrainStew is now leaving this session, causing a bit of an issue with migrating host. Let's hope they'll be fixed momentarily. Let's see then, his 2nd sector. Oh, that's unfortunate. We can't see how much faster he was, so we're gonna have to sit tight and anticipate. Fingers crossed. What can he do then? As Lars is going to try again. I can see that on the top right of my screen, him going around the final corner. Actually, that isn't Lars, that was one of the AlphaTauris. He's coming in! Baklao is coming into the pit lane. He's given up his lap. It probably wasn't good enough then. And Lars is going to try again. However, it's still a red-looking track, so he might have missed the final corner. And that means he will not be able to set a lap time again. Which is a shame. That's probably this set of tires wasted. As we are still seeing migrating host issues. That might cause a bit of a problem for lap times here. So we might have faster laps already. And we can't see them. So stand by here. Of course, we'll keep you on track all with the action. But, yeah, there's a bit of an issue going on there. BrainStew having no idea what happened, so that wasn't intentional. He wasn't supposed to leave there. We're still stuck here, however, as Polypunk is coming out of the pit lane. The screen is telling me he's not in his outlap, but of course he's coming out of the pit, so that is his outlap then. Yes, I'm the new commentator here. My name is Frostbreath. Thank you for tuning in tonight. And here we are once again facing the issues of the game as they are. We have no idea if anyone is improving. We've got no idea who's on their outlap, who's on their hot lap. It's just guessing now, basically. Now Polypunk is properly on his outlap, but there are still migrating host issues going on. And it just can't seem to fix itself. Yeah, I know Lovell, but still, it is my favorite auto sports, car sports. So, issues or not, I still love the game, and all we can do is basically bugger Codemasters and EA as much as we can. And we might, however, see a restart soon, as the timer for qualifying is now gone as well. Kieran is now 7 on his stream. Yeah, as I said, there's a migrating host issue, and it doesn't look like it's going to be fixed anytime soon by the game. So, if the host migrates soon, the timetable might completely go over the top and go completely wild. So, instead of me keeping you guys up to date, maybe you guys can keep me up to date on what on earth is happening with all the lap times. Well, this is an interesting way to get introduced to a new commentating job here tonight. Kieran claiming he's on pole at 1 minute 12. Let's take that with a grain of salt. There's currently being said that the lobby will be restarted, and that does include qualifying. Yes, very quick Sector 1 times, in fact. More than 5 minutes per sector. They're just taking a stroll, basically. It is looking increasingly likely that the lobby will be restarted, because for some reason the game just refuses to move the host to somebody else. It can't be that hard. And Freeware then confirming we are restarting the lobby and redoing qualifying. So forget everything you just saw. Interesting transmission there coming in. And we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. So that's a shame, especially for those guys who are putting in really quick times. I unfortunately didn't see them. But it might just be that my prediction might have come true, as in that the poll time of a 49.98 or 988 or whatever had been beaten. So yeah, that's just the way this game goes, unfortunately. Thank God the desync has been fixed, because that was causing so much more issues. It's just unfortunate that the migrating host issue decided to play up Tune. Well, what can you do about it? All you can do is restart and hope everybody can set the same qualifying times again. The biggest upside to this, though, is that Blind will get another chance. Because he's had been disqualified there on the pit exit for blocking people, apparently. Of course, that's complete nonsense. But then again, it's going to be good for him. It might be bad luck for some others. You never know how hard people are going to push in a second try in order to get that pole position, and they might just be taking a bit too much curb, and then they lose it. And that means qualifying over for you. I mean, I can talk about it as I had it in Hungary last week in my own racing league. Started from 18th place, still managed to finish P4 by some miracle. But still, starting in the back is never a proud moment. Yeah, let's see that, Kieran. I'm dying to see it on the live stream. Let's see if we have already been re-invited. I think we can already join Brainstew in his lobby. So let's do that. Weather is currently being discussed. Of course, I'm expecting it to be the same. So dry qualifying and a dry to wet race. For those who just tuned in, my name is Frostbreath. Welcome to Misfits Racing League Tier 4 in Hungary. I'm your new commentator. And I shall be guiding you through this difficult night, riddled with issues, bugs, glitches, and all of that interesting stuff that make this game just that much less enjoyable to play. And while the people are rejoining, I'm going to get myself a bit of a refreshment, as in a nice glass of water, because this might just be a little bit of a longer night than I had anticipated. So I'll be back in just a few seconds. Right then, so the lobby is up for those drivers watching and not yet in the lobby. It's going to be short quali, of course, again, to give everybody a fair chance of setting a lap time. As Brainstew is now setting up the weather as we speak. Things are getting ready very soon, and we'll be on our way in a few minutes, hopefully. The desync is gone, Epic, I believe. It was just a matter of a migrating host issue. And that by default will cause desync glitches, people not being where they should be, the timetable not updating, and so forth. Because there's technically no host. And I cannot disagree on that one, actually, Arabs. Things, while being fixed, are not improving as much as we hope. But anyway, we're not here to complain about the game. We're here to see some action, and the lobby, I can confirm, is now full. Therefore, we should be on our way very, very soon, as Freeware has just confirmed. Thank you, Freeware. So I just look a little bit at when I asked who do you think would win, I saw Poli, and I believe I also saw Disaster. Yes. And a hopeful person saying Blind lost to first. However, that will no longer be necessary, as he'll have a new chance. Alexander, Goran, and Poli on the podium. Well, Goran will definitely need that if he wishes to retain his lead. Thing is, though, Poli can claim that Drivers' Championship lead if Goran finishes outside of the podium and he wins the race. So that's definitely a possibility. As I said, the championship is still wide open. In fact, let's have another little look at the standings as we speak. Here you go. Just 10 points between P1 and P2. Thing is, though, there's only 40 points between P1 and P6, so if I had to have a guess, and I don't know this group quite well just yet, anyone from P1 to P6 is still in championship contention. Well, technically, everybody still is, as there's still 7 races to go and plenty of points to be handed out. So the lobby is readying up, and we are getting close to ready to qualify once again. 18 minutes coming up very soon, as the countdown has now started for the lobby to get going, and let's hope every single thing will stay as it is right now, so we can have 80 minutes of qualifying and then 35 laps. 35 beautiful laps on the Hungaroring. A tiny bit in the dry, and it looks like the majority might be in the wet. How wet it will be, however, that is everybody's guess. Will it be intermediates? Will it be full wets? It's a guessing game, and that will, of course, also, now that I think of it, influence car setups. Because will you go for a full dry setup and have the advantage early on in the race, or might you just go for a bit of a more of a wet-ish setup? And never mind, it's actually preset, so that's my bad. Welcome back to the pit lane, once again, for the short qualifying on the Hungaroring. Yes, dry qualifying, dry to wet at the end of the race. However, you never know. You never know how it will happen. It's definitely good practice in commentating. Yes, thank you. But don't worry, I can adapt to certain circumstances. Most circumstances, in fact. So we'll be fine, and you guys can keep me company, right? I can hear several cars leaving the pit lane, and it looks like an Aston Martin. I saw some cars way ahead, and once again Polypunk is the first to leave pit lane. And there he is again with his striking pink helmet. Once again the first out on the track, and soon the first to set a lap time, and maybe, just maybe, he'll be able to go even faster. I've actually got no doubts about it. Quite sure he can. So then, Polypunk and a lot of drivers are now swarming out of the pit lane. It's almost looking like some kind of beehive where the bees are going out for their honey tour and then coming back later on. Let's see here. Who would we like to follow here on their hot lap? I'm actually interested in watching the championship leader, in fact. Grenade Goran, who is not that far behind Polypunk, actually. He's now coming around the final corner, and there they go. Maybe we shouldn't watch Grenade Goran, as he's currently got the lovely rev bug. Let's switch back to Polypunk then. the first who will try and set a lap time here. Several others already on their hot lap as well. Fabry Flame, for example, Beccario, are all trying to set the fastest possible lap time. Some yellow flags in the third sector as people are slowing down to get plenty of space for themselves, as little dirty air as possible. And of course, in case they are faster than the car ahead, plenty of space, at least a few seconds if possible. All on the soft tires. Nobody is daring to try on the medium tires, as last time out Big Turbina showed. Oh, and that's an invalidation. Polypunk will not be able to complete his first hot lap. Is he going to try again, or will he dive into the pit lane? It looks like he's diving into the pit lane. Yes, he will actually not use this set again. That's very unfortunate for him. So the first one to set a lap time here is Beccario. He opened in a 16.2. As the driver behind him, Fabry Flame, is also heading back into the pit lane. And the Polypunk teammate Tatsis is now going fastest with a 16.178. Let's see here then. Several other drivers will be coming across the line soon. Grenade Goran is setting a lap time, is 15.698. So a nice time from him then. A 15.0, and there he goes again. This time he's just above that 1 minute 15 mark. A 15.009. Trick Slam slotting in behind him at a 15.3. So now everything is slowly starting to come together, as Evamar Lars has now gone into P2. Lars then is setting a pretty nice time there for now. Third on the grid in the second starting row. Not bad, not bad. Kira then, with his 1 minute 12, currently sitting in P8. So he's going to have to do a 1 minute 11 if he wishes to go to pole position. Let's have a little look here. Several other drivers are now making their way into the pit lane, and I think most people have now done their lap. However, four-door sedan is having a little try here. Oh dear, I see a crashed Alpha Tauri, and it is Super Noodle Bagel. I cannot believe this. The only driver without points has smashed his car. Well, technically not yet in last place. Of course, it's only a matter of minutes before he moves into P20. And I see another yellow flag. There's Beck Laos standing sideways on the track. But I couldn't see. I don't think his car isn't broken. But that, I think, might have his heart skip a few beats. Now several things are happening. This qualifying is already more, well, I don't know, spectacular maybe isn't the right word. But look at the state of that car. Well, actually, it doesn't look that bad from the outside. It looks quite fine. But of course, he is heading into the pit lane. He's got a bit of a scare there. For now, he's sitting in P3. Had he smashed his car to bits, might have been a lot lower. Let's see here then. XTXP heading back into the pit lane, actually. And Polypunk is gonna have another try with a fresh set of tires then. This time he will have to set a banker time at least. Otherwise he might be in trouble. I'm going to quickly disable preview. Sorry about this. Can't disable it at the moment. In OBS, I was to say. It's not possible currently. So we're gonna have to live with it. But it doesn't seem to be causing any lag, so that's fine. So then, for now, Polypunk doing quite well. No invalidations yet. However, his invalidation came quite late in the lap last time round. So here is a thing. What can he do? Yeah, I'm sorry, Super Noodle Bake, but unless Brain Stew, his game is going to crash again, and we get an infinite migrating host issue, then it might happen. But for now, it looks like Alpha Tower is gonna have to work real hard. Oh no! Polypunk! Spinning out of the final corner! I jinxed it! That's the jinx counter up to 1. And once again, the person in P2 is in trouble. He's no longer last, but a 1 minute 23 isn't gonna keep you in the 16th position. How much bad luck can you have in one day? That is so unfortunate. So unfortunate in fact that I have been distracted completely, and let's see how the rest is doing in fact, but that is such a shame. In the final corner, spinning out, and that is what I meant with these curbs of death. They can destroy your lap time. And with that, destroy any chances of you getting a proper lap, because Polypunk will now have only 1 fresh set of tires remaining, so the pressure is on. He's gonna have no more chances to hold back. He's gonna have to push to the limit. Trixam is already 1/10 up, is currently not enough to defeat Alexander's time of a 1:15.0. And my prediction might just be a bit optimistic of a 14.6 or 7 as a pole position time. However, you never know. And we see another crash, and it's Alberto Perez out of qualifying. The second crash in this qualifying. Now, this is shaking things up. He was sitting in P8, but I'm quite sure that the people below him will be able to improve sooner or later. So then, 2 people out of qualifying now. And a third person being very disappointed with themselves as they have invalidated a lap and spun a lap. Now then, Trixem, can he improve? He can, and it's not enough. It's very close, only 8/100ths of a second. But it isn't enough for pole position. He does, however, strengthen his second place. Thing is though, Baclao, just on his way on his hot lap, is going to try and defeat that time. And he looks quick today, ladies and gentlemen. He looks very quick. Let's see what he can do in the first sector. Many yellow flags being out, now in sector 1, 2 and 3 in separate places. As another Aston Martin, yeah, Fabry Flame has spun out as well. Oh yeah, that was an invalidation. I saw it coming there. He was just going a bit too wide, and that's his lap ruined. Baclao looking very fast, however, just pushed a bit too hard, and that's his chances over. Let's have a little look in the meantime at Fabry Flame, how his car is doing there. It looks fine, so no crashes, no repairs required. And he's the only Aston Martin out right now, so all hopes are with him. However, his teammate is still in the top 10. So it might just not be over yet. And there we have XTXP going into the pit lane again. Now on the medium tires. It's like he's scrubbing every single set and determining which set is the best for him to use. But he's running out of time. I think there's less than 7 minutes of qualifying remaining right now. Let's see here. Grenade Goron is not, I think, on a hot lap at the moment. He doesn't look very fast. He's charging his ERS, so he's waiting to get that gap going. His teammate Baclao just behind him. They're currently occupying the second row. So it's looking quite good for Haas. It's looking quite good indeed. But the one we'd like to know what he can do is Polypunk with 6 minutes remaining. I think he might be on his last set of soft tires. Unfortunately, I cannot see which tires these are and how much damage they already have. It's a terrible word to use, damage. Oh well. Half a tenth down. Oh no! What is going on? He didn't crash out, but look at this! Polypunk is having the worst day of his life. I was just thinking to myself, what else can go wrong with this man today? Well, apparently everything. Now he's invalidated, spun out, and now smashed his front wing. I think several hairs are being torn out in the Ferrari pit box. No wing start. I'd like to see that happen. But look at that car. It's looking so empty. I would make a terrible joke about that emptiness, but let's not do that. I mean, this guy has already got plenty of hardship going on right now, as Undertaker is coming around the final corner. Onto the main straight. He needs to improve by a lot if he wishes to come higher up, and he improves to P7, so that's a nice improvement actually. Well done. A 15.698 is a good way to go. Now then, Beccario is wishing himself into the top 10 here with a new attempt at a hot lap. If he can improve by at least 4/10, he'll be in the top 6. So, there's certainly hope. Then, of course, interviews will be happening after this race. And I'm definitely trying to get Polypunk into the commentary interview box. And ask him how he felt during qualifying. Oh, and there goes Beccario, taking a bit too much of that corner, and that is his lap done. The lobby is looking quite fine. Actually, no issues as of yet. Fingers crossed that they'll keep it that way. Polypunk now trying a lap on the medium tires. I think he has got no more options than forcing himself onto the mediums. And I'm afraid that will be P16 at best for him, judging by the previous lap time set on mediums. Yeah, I know, the only one who's not crossing his fingers for a good lobby is is you, of course, Super Noodle Bagel. But if that cheers you up a little bit, you're no longer the only one who's crashed out. Alberto Perez has followed you into the barriers, however, at a different place on the circuit. Coming around the final corner are both Williams cars, currently sitting in P6 and P13. Beccario is having another try at a hot lap here. That might potentially be damaging to his race strategy. The thing is though, it will be raining at one point or another. So you never know if it's worth it to try. There's only 2 minutes left, so anybody still in the pit lane will have to hurry up, because if they wait for another 10 seconds, they'll be too late. As Beccario is now making his car go around the final 2 corners on the Hungaroring. And let's see what he can do to improve. As I said, 4/10 will be enough to get into the top 6. Can he do so? He does so! Wow! P6 then for Beccario, well done. Strong time there at 15.652, just 2 100ths faster than Lars. As Grenade Goran is making way for Beccario. He's gonna have to hurry up, 1 minute 20 left. Both Haases there fighting for position on the track. Not for the race though, but track position will now be vital. And Baclau decides to slot in behind his teammate, as they've got about 1 minute left to get to that finish line. And I think they might just make that. Whoa, Baclau, please be careful, good lord. Alexander has improved to a 14.7 in the meanwhile. Disaster to a 14.8. So that's looking good for both of these guys. Very strong times, and I'm very happy that my prediction has come true. Polypunk, look at that! Oh, well, not that. Look at this lap time. Oh, Jesus, I tuned it at the perfect time there. Oh, God. Well, he just put in a mighty lap time. That is what I wanted to say, at a 15.6 P8 on the medium tires. However, he once again smashed his front wing. And they might just run out of front wing at Ferrari before the race even happens. He is indeed cursed. I might have cursed him with the commentator's curse, which is famous. It is a shame. So, the pressure is now on the championship leader over here. He just made it barely in time. The Mercedes of PW Jones, or Kieran, one of them, hasn't made it in time, unfortunately, as the qualifying is now officially over. However, we'll have to wait a little bit for these cars to cross the line. Let's see what Goran can do. He'll need to improve by at least 0.7 of a second if he wishes to get pole position. Oh, that was close to invalidating there. Can he go onto pole position? His nearest rival, Polypunk, is starting from P9. However, starting on the medium tires might be the advantage he needs. So, despite his bad luck, it might still work out for him. And I desperately hope for him that it does. 3.10's up now, so that's currently sitting in P4. However, the final sector is crucial. If you get your throttle just right here, you might gain so much time. Get it wrong though, and it's all the end. Trixam then improving to a 14.7. Across the line now, sitting on the front row. There he comes then, right the final corner. Grenade Goran, where will he put his Haas? P5. Way ahead of his nearest competitor in the Drivers' Championship. As Polypunk has been pushed down to 12th place. P12. And yes, Trixam missing out pole position by just 5 milliseconds. I repeat, 5 milliseconds. Well, that's how close this tier is. Strifium told me, and I was not disappointed here tonight. A great qualifying, with some interesting things happening today. The bad luck of Polypunk, Perez and Super Noodle crashing out. And that is that. P5 and 6 have come in at the exact same time. Grenade Goran and Lars. Look at that. Incredible. 5 milliseconds separating the top two, and P5 and 6 have the exact same time. Well, if this isn't telling anything about their epic pace, I don't know what does. But that's the end of qualifying then. An interesting lineup for the race. Championship leader starting from 5th place. Let's see what he can do, and thank you for the welcome, Noel. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm having a very good time. This qualifying has been a blast. So much things going on. So, I'm going to ask again, predictions for winner of the race. Let me know in the chat. I know people like Polly Alexander have been named. Alexander looks incredibly likely. Polypunk starting from P12, he's going to have a mighty race if he wishes to come back on the podium. A Swedish 1-2, that will mean that Grenade Goran will have to move up several places. It isn't impossible, as he's only 4/10 down on the pole time. So then, we are getting ready for the race, and as I said, it's going to be dry to wet. When exactly the rain will hit is anybody's guess. And now players are going to prepare. Now, as I said, during the start of the first try of qualifying, the soft-medium strategy is an option. And now that it is raining, it might be a very, very attractive option. Will any of the top 10 drivers dare to go for that strategy? Might be an idea. And what will the guys below the top 10 do? Will they go for the mediums and try to keep on those tires until it starts raining? Will they take no gambles and start on the hard tires in case the rain decides to stay away for a while? Or will they go with the softs and go to another tire later on? Because whatever happens, I'm quite convinced that the soft tires will not last till the end of the race. Of course, here's the predicted pit stop strategy, which is wrong, obviously, as the rain will come in soon and the game doesn't take that into account. There they come then, on the formation lap. Alexander leading the pack. Followed by Trixam, Disaster, Big Turbina. Doing quite well there in P4. Followed by the Driver Championship leader. In P5, Lars in P6. Back Lao. Maybe he'll try and back up his teammate there from 7th place. Kane, P8. Tats is in 9th place. And XTXP in P10. His teammate, 4-door sedan in 11th place. Followed by the Driver Championship person in 2nd place, Polypunk. And then Becario, Undertaker, Jones, Alberto, Kieran, Blind, Fabry, Flame, and Super Noodle. Rounding up that grid. The Super Noodle not being able to set a lap time. So what can he do? And yes, there we are. I need to know what tires people start on. Looks like there's many different strategies here. Of course, the entire top 10 will have to go from the soft tires. But we do see some people taking the gas with the hards. Now, they might take into account the fact that it will rain and go for a potential one stop. That is from hards to any set of wet tires that is required for this race. Undertaker and Super Noodle taking the gamble on the hard tires. And the rest of the sub-top 10 is going on the mediums. Right, wish your favorite driver the best of luck. Here they come, all of them. Round the final corner, ready. As Fabry Flame has been disqualified from the formation lap, not from the race, fortunately. His tires might be a fraction colder than the rest now. And might play at a bit of a disadvantage. Already starting for P19. Not the greatest thing to have happened to you. Anyway. Waiting for the lights and the green flags to be waved. There we are, ladies and gentlemen. There they come on, the 5 red lights. The Hungarian Grand Prix is starting to go underway. We're having to wait a little bit here. Quite a long time, actually. And off they go. It's go, go, go for everybody here. Everybody's coming off the line quite well. And look like that. The Trixam already fighting for a bit. Disaster for 2nd place. And Alexander is away quite well then. And look at this. The fight for P2 is already on. Disaster trying to get past Trixam, not working out so fair, and that puts him under pressure from Big Turbina indeed. The other Red Bulls trying to fight for 3rd position. He cannot make it yet so far though, but he is now, yeah, he barely made it actually. Ooh, it's almost like Disaster is pushing the Red Bull forwards there. But everybody has come through the first turn safely. And it looks like a great start then for everybody, as Polypunk has already moved into 9th place on those medium tires. Look what a great start this man's had. Fantastic. He might put the fight to Grenade Goran soon, who's fallen down to 6th place, overtaken by Lars over there. And now that we have seen the tires, let's switch to the position change. And let's see who's made up the most position. Yellow flag in the back of the grid, as 4-door sedan is having a bit of an issue there. Currently sitting in P19. It says that Kane is sitting in last place, but I don't think that's true. Oh dear! A car's off, Baklau's off. I saw the Haas spinning off in the back, the bottom of the screen there. And Baklao now fallen down the order, and it looks like Alberto Perez might have been involved in that as well. So that's very unfortunate there for Baklao. Now at the back then of the field, far behind the rest. 5 seconds at least. So we're trying to settle everything down here. The field is still pretty crammed up together, with the exception of the leader of the race. Look at Alexander just pulling away from the field here. Absolutely crazy. Disaster, however, still putting on that pressure to Big Turbina. Fighting for 3rd position. Let's see how that will turn out. Bakla also getting a penalty. I didn't see which penalty it was. It might have been a speeding in the pit lane penalty. However, we'll have to figure that out later, as there's so much going on right now. I don't really have the time just yet to see what penalty those are. And another yellow flag a bit further back in the 2nd sector, but I don't see anybody going that slow just yet. No. The yellow flag is just there because, I don't know, it's completely unknown. Oh no, Disaster already having a 3-second penalty there. A bit early for that, man. Not good. Fighting there for P3. Having that penalty is not a great sign. Look here then. Kane fighting there for P5 technically. However, the game's still saying that he's in P20. That might be a bit of an issue there. And I think he's trying to fight there, but it's hard to follow now as he is there. There he is. Trying to get the position, and it looks like he's going to have to let everybody pass because of blue flags. He is. He's letting everybody pass, so he is in P20. That's a bit confusing. That might be a desync issue as Disaster is having a disaster on his own and spun out. Spun out in this incredibly infamous corner there. Was sitting in P4 and has fallen down the order behind Beglau, now in 18th place. And that does give Big Turbina a bit of breathing room, and Red Bull is looking very feisty now. Kane then, back into the game. His AI is letting everybody past. He's technically already a lap down, and I think that's his race done because of desync issues, I'm afraid. Let's see here, which fights are going on. Grenade Goron, putting Lars under pressure here. Can he do something? His DRS will be enabled, as Lars's will not be. And just behind there, we can already see XTXP and P6 Polypunk trying to fight him for that position. Side by side to the first corner. Oh, that's a bit of contact there. Polypunk had a bit more speed. However, XTXP, I think, had a bit more understeer going on there. And therefore, Polypunk was forced back. As I see, one of the Aston Martin's Fabric Flame has spun out. And now he is in last place. Although, no, Disaster is having to pit there. And he's fallen down the other. That's unfortunate there. Several fights going on then. Grenade Goron versus Lars. And Polypunk versus several cars behind him. All the way down to P10 are in a train behind him. However, it looks like he's gaining on them. And he might just leave that train soon. So that puts XTXP in 7th place. And he will now be pressurized by Polypunk's teammate Tatsis, who has already made up a position since the race start. But look at Polypunk flying. He might be that outsider for the podium today, ladies and gentlemen. Will he be able to pull it off? That's the big question. Round the final corner he comes. XTXP under pressure there. Just a little bit ahead here, Grenade Goron fighting with Lars into turn 1, taking the inside line. It looks like he's doing that just mighty fine. And yes, I will turn on ERS and all the telemetry stuff. And Grenade Goron now in 4th place, trying to get all of those points. He knows that Polypunk is coming. And Polypunk is already almost within 1 second of his nearest rival. There he comes then. The medium tires are working so well for him that in fact he's now setting the first fastest sector. Purple in the first sector. So Polypunk is making up so many places. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And thank you for the compliment there, by the way, Bito. I'm glad you're enjoying my commentary. And look at this here. Beccario has also made up quite a few places after I think he might have been disappointed in qualifying. But he's looking feisty. He's trying to go for more. And the soft tires at lap 5, I think, are going to drop off a little bit. So, yeah, look at this. We're gonna have to watch this fight. This is the fight we all like to see between Goran, Lars, and Polypunk. There they come then. DRS online. No ERS being used there from Polypunk. I think he's going to wait out a little bit. Lars, I don't think, is using any of his ERS either. He still does have half of his battery left though, but Grenade Goron does have a lot more. So this fight might just take a while. So far I'm not disappointed by this race. Especially since both title contenders are now very, very close to one another. They might clash very soon, either literally or figuratively. Let's see if they can not pull off a Hamilton-Verstappen clash. Another fight here going on a bit further back between XTXP, Tatsis, Beccario and PW Jones. These guys are all fighting for P7. XTSP is doing everything he can to pull away from the rest, as Becario is going quite wide there. Trying to keep up with the rest, and he does have a penalty already, so he's going to have to be a bit more careful. In the meanwhile, though, yes, in comes Lars. Lars is coming in. Polypunk will have the DRS, and now he is right behind his rival. There they are then. Goran and Polypunk caught in one view. And look at him gaining on those medium tires. Trying to get within that DRS range of Grenade Goran. Of course, he still got this DRS from Lars, who's now fallen down to P14 due to his pit stop. Tatsis also came in for his pit stop. And that makes XTXP climb into the 6th position. Fighting hard to keep the rest behind. In the meanwhile, Kieran is now under pressure from Blind, who in the first attempt of qualifying had crashed out. Fortunately for him, the lobby had to be restarted, and here he is in P11. Of course, all those made-up positions are now not entirely correct anymore, as several drivers who started on the soft tires have already pitted, including Lars and Tatsis. In the meanwhile, Super Noodle Bagel already in 13th place. Making up plenty of ground on those hard tires. There comes the championship leader, not to the pit lane actually, it's Big Turbina coming in, sorry about that. And I have this feeling that he will not be fighting Polypunk very hard, because he knows Polypunk will go longer. You never know though, he might just be proud and defend his position, whatever, and no matter how hard. Polypunk trying to stay with him. It looks like it's quite easy for him to do so. Look at this. The soft tires are now starting to pop off properly. 8 laps is pretty much the limit if you wish to push them. If you want to set quick lap times, 8 laps is the limit for those soft tires, I think. And Polypunk knows. He knows. So incredibly close behind now. Fighting for what is currently 3rd place. However, they were in P5 and 6 before several guys were starting to make their pit stop. And look at Alexander! How many seconds has he pulled out already? Looks like he's going to box this lap, as the pit icon is blue. So the leader of the race will be coming in. And he is indeed flying. Red Bull is giving him a lot of wings today. There he comes in then, the race leader in at lap 8. And Grenade Goran coming in, he doesn't wish to be fighting with Polypunk over position, and Polypunk now has got clear air as everybody ahead of him is now coming. Trixam as well, he is now leading the race, starting in P12, leading the race right now. Let's see what he can do. The only guy still in soft tires is XTXP, and look at those swarm of cars behind him trying to get past. He's holding them off quite well actually. So that's a mighty guy. I think he's doing that on purpose. In fact, Becario has now fallen back to over a second. Ooh, dearie me. Dearie me. This is not Alexander. There is Alexander fighting 4-door sedan for 8th position. However, Alexander has pitted, and we know that 4-door sedan hasn't. We can see that over here. Several drivers already made their stop. Let's indeed see what the tire age is. Where are the tires? I'm already moving the wrong thing around. Sorry about that. Interval is the most interesting thing. And look at this. The ancient soft tires of XTXP are serving him quite well, actually. Becario is unable to get back into that 1 second. He needs to get the DRS. And there he is then. Now he's within that second, and XTXP is still not going in. He's got nearly 7 seconds to Polypunk, who I believe started behind him at the start of the race. And these guys are fighting to actually keep up with XTXP, which is very interesting. The nearest guy on the hard tires then is Undertaker, and now currently sitting in P5, and Trixam getting past Big Turbina. They are now both fighting for that 2nd place after their pit stops. They've closed up their gaps to one another. as Alexander will have to fight his way through the cars ahead of him. And this is the chance for Trixam to close the gap. Because it will take a while for Alexander to get past. As we all know, this part of the track, it's very hard to pass here. Oh! Speaking of passing, a four-door sedan made it quite easy for Alexander there. He spun out then at the very infamous corner. Four-door sedan. Lost his front wing, I'm afraid. Yes, no, he didn't lose it, but that's quite a lot of damage there. And it is starting to look cloudy. Yes, rain is coming. I have been confirmed by Freeware that rain is coming sooner or later, and it might actually be sooner. This might play perfectly into the hands of those who started on medium and hard tires. As a matter of fact, I think XCXP is going to extend his stint until it starts to rain. He's still going. Look at this find here. Alexander Jew actually having an easy time cruising past Blind, who's got older medium tires there, and off he goes into the distance. However, Trixam, as I predicted, has been able to close that gap from 4.6 to about 3.5 seconds. So it's definitely not over for him yet. In the meantime, XTXP has finally been overtaken by Becario for second place there. Technically second place, as they all still have to pit. But I think his pace is now starting to collapse badly. I'm not entirely sure how long his tires will keep up. He's doing everything now to keep PW Jones and Undertaker behind. However, I think it's a lost battle. But I do admire him for trying. That's deserving the thumbs up there. If there are any thumbs up on Twitch, of course. Which there are not, but still though. Ooh, look at them. So close behind one another, they nearly crash into one another. And he is coming in. XTXP knows this fight is over, but he held up so well. Great job by him. 10 laps on the soft tires, as PW Jones will have to defend now from Undertaker there. And I think he's able to do so with ease, as Alexander has moved past Kieran into 5th position. Once again flying this man, and Trixam is now stuck behind Blind. He's 1.2 seconds behind there, but still. Alexander Jew hunting down that famous Hungarian win. 25 points waiting there for him. He's going strong, however, he's still stuck in traffic, as is his nearest competitor Sam, who has Blind behind him, who spun out. Might that have been a touch, an incident? Did Blind lose his car? But that's his fight over then. Will he come in now for a new set of tires? Or will he keep going? Regardless, fallen down the order from P7 or 8 down to 12. And it's been confirmed that there has been contact between the two. Such a shame. But it is a good news for Trixam. If it wasn't his fault, of course. There, Alexander breezing past Undertaker into P4. And his next target will be PW Jones for 3rd place. He's already far within the pit stop window of Polly Punk, who's starting to slowly lose ground to Becario, as Tatsis and Blind are now fighting for position. Blind has now got more damaged tires because of that spin. Maybe a very tiny bit of damage to the front wing. However, he's now starting to fall down the order. 13th place, in the unluckiest position there possible. Kane has in the meanwhile retired from the race due to desync issues or whatever happened to him. It's very unfortunate, as I believe he had a pretty strong pace. There he is then, the technical race leader. Look how much later he can brake on those fresher medium tires. The guy ahead of him, PW Jones, 12 lap old medium tires, and Alexander's got 3 lap old mediums, so it should be a piece of cake for him to get past here. However, the thing we'd like to see here as well is his nearest competitor for the lead of the race, Trixam, who now has Kieran ahead of him. But it looks like Kieran is not going to make much of a point of that one. Trixam floating past Kieran, trying to get a bit of that slipstream. But he knows this is not his fight. And Baclau getting another 3-second penalty. It's not going well for him today. Disaster, they are sitting at P17 still, the hard tires. He was actually fighting for a podium at the start of this race, but spun out and damaged his wing. It is indeed sad. Sad day for him. Big Turbina in the second Red Bull, currently sitting in 8th position. Chased down by Grenade Goran, who is slowly but surely getting closer. Look at that corner. He just gained over a 1/10 of a second in that corner alone. And another 10th. 2 tenths in fact gained there. Grenade Goran is on a roll. Adverts? I've got no clue why adverts are on. I'm using this through a stream key, so I've got no idea. Bakaria is going to have to defend from Alexander, but I think he knows it's no use. Rain will be falling in 10 to 15 minutes. So then, that means that the medium tire people might actually have to make a stop. Trixem now past Undertaker, still chasing down Alexander. He's still just over 3 seconds behind. Okay, so that's not something in my control then, those advertisements. So sorry if you're seeing them, but it's not something I can do anything about. And thank you for confirming that, Bitto. Anyways, hello Jackie. Hello Jackie, I should say. Welcome to the stream. Glad you're watching this epic race. Alexander, who's already stopped, is now chasing down Polypunk. And Polypunk is quickly losing ground to him now. But he is, I have to say, driving a strong race here. The thing is though, if the rain is still 10 to 15 minutes away, the medium tire drivers will have to stop. And it might be those hard tire drivers, Undertaker and Super Noodle, that might have a bit more of the advantage here. As PW Jones is listening to my advice for some reason and has come into the pit lane. Abandoning the fight at the front of the pack. Yes, indeed, very clean league racing, and that's what's making this so enjoyable. Now then, Grenade Goran is very much on the tail of Big Turbina, trying to get that position from him now side by side, however. No, it's actually Big Turbina fighting Kieran. Oh, excuse me for that one. Whoa! Kieran is getting a bit feisty and aggressive there, nearly pushing Turbina off. And now Goran has closed the gap pretty much there. So now Turbina is going to be under serious pressure, and Turbina needs to get past Kieran as fast as he possibly can. But Kieran is not having any of that. He did let past the other Red Bull, but now he's like, no, I'm gonna stay where I am. And yes, Grenade is pretty much lurking, having a bit of a look here and there. But now this is the fight we're gonna have to watch. The championship leader in P8 is nearest rival in first place. If the race were to finish right now, Polypunk would take over the Drivers' Championship. However, that's of course not the case. Now then, Big Turbina will have to use everything in his arsenal. And he's using that ERS, but it does look like Kieran is definitely putting up a good fight. He can just try and brake later here. It's still side by side after corner 1. Still got DRS though. Now still side by side, and he is barely ahead. No, Kieran is still putting on the pressure, having a bit of a wheel banging there. And oh, Kieran is pushed off, of course. Yes, Turbina really wants that position there. And Kieran is forced to seize the battle for the time being. But he's not giving up easily, and now he's going up Grenade Goran. Goran not going to be happy. He needs those points, and Kieran is in the middle of them. In the meantime, Trixam trying to get past Becario to keep the chase towards Alexander on. The gap has already, however, improved. No, actually, not improved. Fallen down to 4.2 seconds. It was 3 seconds before all the traffic came in. And now it's already, once again, above the 4-second mark. There he goes. DRS on. Side by side. Into the first corner. And he's safely passed. However, Grenade Goran, yes, he's done it. He's actually done it. And now he can try and start that fight. While Disaster is having more disaster far behind. As I think he spun out again. He's having a terrible day today. Another yellow flag, and I see that Alberto Perez spun out in his Aston Martin. The Aston Martins are having a tough day in the field now. And a spin, Super Noodle Bagel. Spun out. I think he was within a group. It might have been this group over here, in fact, that he was fighting with. And something has happened there for sure. This group is another close fight, by the way, for P10, I believe, yes. And Alberto Perez, the second retirement of the race in the pit lane. He's got enough for one day. Now I'm curious, what exactly is a Tholds moment? As I'm still pretty new to all of this, I don't know what it is. Please elaborate. Oh, look at that! Just in time to see Big Turbina trying to get past. Oh, a bit of a twitch there from his car. As Undertaker is trying to defend. Thing is, though, that has given Grenade Goran the chance. And look, already side by side, taken 2 cars in one go. 2 cars at once. Well, yes, actually he did. The mistake of Big Turbina has cost him dearly. And now Undertaker is in between them. And Big Turbina is going to have to wait, as now Grenade Goran can get moving on again. And to my surprise, Polypunk is, I think, going to wait for that rain. And that means Alexander is going to have to pass him very soon, and I think he'll not make a big issue of that one. Super Noodle Bagel, in the meanwhile, having to pit again. Another great day, crashing the first attempt at qualifying and now sitting in last place, P18. Ah, I see. Thank you for explaining. Oh, that might be an interesting, an interesting strategy there. Alexander waiting patiently. He knows the time will come. Meanwhile, the other Red Bulls having to try and get past Undertaker, and Undertaker is defending very hard, and he's doing quite well doing so. However, the battle is over. And it has been won by Big Turbina for now. In the meanwhile, it looks like PW Jones has taken XTXP's 10th position. And there was XTXP nearly losing his car there. As Tatsis is looking from the back seat at that fight, hoping to pound upon them. I'll definitely watch that video soon, Bito. Thank you for linking it. I'm curious to see... I need to get up to speed with all the racing terms used in this league. So pulling a Tholds is something I gotta remember there. Meanwhile, battle for first place going on as Super Noodle Bagel is about to get lapped. Ghosting is off, by the way, in this league, I saw. So they're gonna have to get past safely there. So, Alexander, nearly out of ERS, only trying to get past Polypunk, who's got much older medium tires. Polypunk is putting up a fight. And that allows Trixam to slowly crawl all those tiny bits closer. It's definitely not a lost fight just yet. Yes, as I said, Poly is definitely waiting for the rain. As is Becario, who still hasn't pitted yet. Kieran and Undertaker actually... on his hard tires has decided to pit regardless of the rain. That has cost him a great deal of positions. I think it would have been wiser for him to wait, but he decided to not to do so. Maybe the hard tires... maybe the hard tires didn't work as well as he had hoped. Blind, in the meanwhile, also not yet pitted. In fact, let me actually confirm that. There we go. Only a few guys who haven't stopped, though. That's Polypunk, Becario, Kieran, Blind, and Fabric Flame, who haven't yet stopped on their ancient set of medium tires. And yes, this is definitely a very strong strategy of Polypunk. He's leaving his nearest rival in the championship far behind right now. And there comes Alexander swerving. Now he really wants to get past. And into the lead he goes. And Polypunk, while putting up a Valiant defense, knows that this is the best. However, I thought for a moment that he was having a go again. That was just the trick of the camera there. Victor Bina left the session. That's no good news for him. If he wants to stay in the fight, he'll have to rejoin quickly. As Kieran is now approaching, he's seen that he's left. Ooh, 10 to 15 minutes the rain is still away. It's been 10 minutes away for 10 minutes. Ah, yes, okay. So, what will Polypunk do then? Will he just extend his tires all the way until softs then? Yeah, never listen to Jeff. That's proper advice there. As Kieran has now closed up to the AI of Big Turbina, he fortunately did rejoin just in time, so Kieran will not be overtaking him just yet. Thing is though, he's now stuck behind a slightly slower AI car, and Lars has been able to close that gap. So that's a bit of luck for him as well. Let's have a look. Where is everybody currently standing? Grenade Goran sitting in 5th position. Polypunk in 2nd place right now. That wouldn't be enough for him to take over the championship lead. It's custom weather, yes. So it should arrive. But whether that's sooner or later, that remains to be seen. We are just over halfway in this race. And several people are attempting to keep their tires going until they actually have to stop. And Trick Sam knows that. He sees Polypunk ahead of him now. And he... Sorry. Wow. That's a bit of a coughing fit there. Trixam then slowly closing that gap to Polypunk, but I have to admire this man for trying so hard. Starting in 12th position, now still sitting in 2nd place, no pit stop just yet. And he's still going round. Now I'd really like to know how his tires are doing. The field is starting to spread out quite a lot. No more big fights going on. Big Turbina is now able to pull away from Kieran again, now that he's rejoined in his own car after... leaving the session, probably due to a crash or an issue. And there he goes, trying to pull away. In the meanwhile, Lars actually has got DRS as well now, so he's definitely benefited from Big Turbina leaving there. His fight for P6 is now on. In the meantime, Trick Sam now closed the gap to Polypunk. Polypunk's pace is really starting to drop off now. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. He's really gonna have to ask himself, for how much longer will I stay out? Everybody is starting to pass him sooner or later. Alexander, in the meanwhile, will be the first car to lap another car. There we go. Super Noodle Bagel lapped on lap 24 out of 35. 5 minutes until the rain. Thank you so much for keeping me up to date with that. Such a shame that spectators cannot actually see weather predictions. It would be so incredibly useful to have that. So I'm very happy with you guys providing me with that information that I need. And there comes Trixam. Side by side with Polypunk. I think this is going to be an easy overtake, and Polypunk knows it. Slotting in behind Trixam. Trying to get a bit of a slipstream. A bit of extra pace there, but it is dropping off for sure. However, his nearest rival behind, Becario, is also not stopped yet. And Grenade Goran is now starting to come up to him. So, in a moment, the title contenders will once again be right behind one another in the completely opposite positions, that is. As Grenade Goron is leading in P1 with 101 points, Polypunk sitting 10 points behind. They will now be in reverse order in the race in a moment, I'm sure. With the rain coming in any moment now, I think that will be a big relief for several drivers here. Because they are waiting for that rain to arrive. They're craving the rain. I mean, they're craving it so much they would nearly open their helmets and lick it. Drink it. Revere it. Well, that might be a bit far. But still though, they are definitely looking forward to that rain. Grenade Goron being a bit impatient there behind. Oh dear, what's going on then in the back of the grid as Backlao and Disaster are now passing Blind. Blind not having a great day. There comes Grenade Goron for this, for the 4th position there, past Becario, and Becario, just like Polypunk knows, it's a dawn race. That's a great thing, by the way. If it does raining, will it rain hard enough for the track to get wet enough? Tire life incoming. Here you go, as confirmed. 25 lap old medium tires. Now the medium to soft strategy might work if the rain really stays out very late. What's going on here? Backlao and Disaster. Disaster going extremely wide, allowing Backlao to get past for 13th position. And look at this now. Interesting thing going on here. PW Jones on his fresher, much fresher tires, now behind his teammate. And if Kieran is a teammate, he'll let him pass soon. Will he do so without losing too much pace? I think he will. Don't think he's going to fight his teammate that too hard there, as they are not only fighting for a position. Oh dear. In the meantime, Backlao is now spun out while trying to fight Disaster. So definitely some things going on between them. Whether it's animosity or not, I can't say. There they go. Kieran moving out of the way. Whew, slotting in just right behind him. Very close though. There they go. Switched positions, both Mercedes. And now PW Jones will give chase to Lars, who is now sitting in 7th position. And he's no longer able to keep up with Big Turbina. He's got much better pace here. Blind can see rain. Ooh, let's have a little look from their cars. I cannot see rain yet. A little look. No raindrops spotted just yet. However, if Blind sees it, then I guess it's true. The rain is coming in, ladies and gentlemen. Polypunk having done a fantastic job there. Okay, so then, rain has started. Now, what will happen to everybody? So far, the medium tire strategy has worked wonders for several drivers. However, they need to be careful not to pop those tires. Trickstam is somewhat trying to keep the pressure on to Alexander in the meanwhile. He's only 4 seconds behind him. Any mistake from Alexander and he'll be right behind him. As he also lapped Super Noodle now, who's hanging around in 17th position. Still no points in the board for him today, unfortunately. That will not happen. PW Jones then, almost side by side in XTXP. With XTXP, in fact. Blind is in puncture territory, and I think that means that Becario and Polypunk are as well then. Ooh, that's going to be tight. It's going to be very tight. I hope the rain will come in great quantities soon, otherwise they'll be in serious trouble. But they still are holding on. Lars is trying to hold off PW Jones for 7th position. It's looking like it's going to be a very hard job, and it's PW Jones who has the pace advantage at the moment. So Let's see how long he can keep that up. There is points in the board here, so fighting will be hard. Let's see if he can overtake him there. Around the final corner for lap 29 there. Using some ERS, he doesn't have a lot of it. DW Joneses have quite a lot more, and he's patiently waiting, it looks like that. Into turn 1 and turn 2. Maybe this might be his chance. It looks like it's just a bit too far away there. And he's gonna have to wait another lap in order to get past. A bit further back, with the other Mercedes, who still hasn't pitted yet, Kieran over here, is now going to be caught by XTXP. And his tires, if it's true what they say about blind tires, who are at popping territory, puncture territory, then Kieran's tires will be as well, as they are just as old as blinds, Becarios and Polypunks. Light rain for 20 minutes. Oh dear. Will that be enough to make the track wet? We're gonna have to keep a close eye on the track and see if it gets wet enough. I can see the rain definitely now as well, and it does look like it's going to get wetter and wetter. The medium tires might come into play if it keeps up like this with a few laps. But maybe the softs are still going to be faster. And we all know these guys who haven't stopped yet must stop at least once. XTXP then. Will he go for a move? Kieran defending. XTXP trying to go around the outside, but he's having a bit of trouble there now that the track is getting a bit more wet. And there he goes. Got a much better exit. And Kieran will have to be more careful. That's what I'm going to say here. Nearly swerving into the side of XTXP. And we have a yellow flag. Don't tell me it's Grenade. No, it's back Lau. And that's a virtual safety car. A virtual safety car. Now this is going to raise a question. Will Polypunk come in? A virtual safety car because of car spinning is interesting. But it might be that little push that those guys on the oldest tires need to go for a new set. Will he do so? And he does! Polypunk coming in then! And I think he's gonna go for the soft tires, and I'm quite sure now that the rain will be too late. The rain is going to be too late. The track will be wet too late, and in they come. And I think Becario is going to do the same. Yes, in he comes! The virtual safety car is not ending yet. Now the thing is though... Oh dear. Tatsis just got a drive-through penalty, that's unfortunate. And Alexander's got a penalty. But Trixam is almost 8 seconds away from him. I think he's desyncing at the moment. There he comes then, soft tires. Oh, look, for a second there were inters, but they changed the softs on the last second. Of course, Kieran is coming in as well. Also going to the softs, had to wait a little bit there. Tats is trying to serve the drive-through. I think that is possible under a virtual safety car. I'm not entirely sure. There we are then. Fabry Flame and Super Noodle are going to try on the intermediates. Now let's see what is faster. And yes, they are losing time. So the softs then are the tire of choice. And look at this then. Already Polypunk is swarming the rear of Big Turbina on his much fresher and much faster tires. Rain though, getting heavier. We can see the puddles on the track now. It's going to get dangerous now on those slick tires. They might just become slightly too cold. Maybe the inters are the way to go then. I can't say it anymore, honestly. It's just now whoever is daring to do the biggest, riskiest move. We have a spin already. Is that Becario? Let's have a look. It isn't Becario. It's his teammate who's already being... swarmed by bad luck. Now Polypunk right behind Grenade Goron. He's gaining loads into all of those corners. Look at that. And yes, puddles there. DRS is going to be disabled any minute now, and it will be intermediate weather. Poly started in P12, ladies and gentlemen. He's now 4th position. However, he might have made the wrong call. Big Turbina coming in for inters. Lars coming in for inters. XTXP in for inters. No. Yes, actually, yes, they are in for inters, and Becario is still trying on those softs to stay on the track. However, everybody behind him is now in Inters, and let's see if they will gain time on him. 4.2 seconds it is right now. Let's see what happens. Keep an eye on those times, guys. Actually, the softs are holding up quite well. Yes, Polypunk started in P4. And look at the time he's gaining on his nearest rival. 3 seconds within a lap. Holy crap. Now that is some pace, if any. And it looks like the Inters are currently about as fast as soft tires. It's going to be close. Really close. Kieran is currently holding, and now DRS is disabled. Now we are in danger territory. Now let's see. This time, now the time has come to separate the men from the boys. Grenade Goron is coming in! The championship leader coming into the pits! He is going to try those intermediate tires. Oh dear! Alexander has pitted for Inters as well. That means Trixam is now leading the race, but look at his pace! It's dropped down massively, and one of the Alpines is unlapping himself. That's 4-door sedan unlapping, and we can already see Spin's Disaster has spun. Now what can they do? Polypunk is no longer gaining time on Alexander. It's just about as quick, and look at this. Alexander has already passed Trixam. Back into the lead on the intermediates, but it looks like Trixam is currently desynced. Now then, what will Polypunk do? Grenade Goron, 18 seconds wide. If he pits now, he'll end up behind him. Any points gained for him are points he'll welcome. I think Trixam is still in P2. Look at it, he's currently desynced. He's going to drive straight through him. Grenade Goron is slowly gaining, but it's still 18 seconds. There we go, see? Trixam definitely desynced. I think he's still in P2, so let's just consider Polypunk still in 3rd position. Now, this is the fight we need to watch. Polypunk trying to hold Grenade Goron behind. It's still 17 seconds. 2 guys still on the soft tires. Kieran as well is now getting swarmed by Undertaker. That has definitely been the wrong call for him. Look at this! What a finale to this race, man! Trixam then coming in for the intermediates, and that means Polypunk, yeah, he's going to try and finish the race. He is going to try it. Now we can see 12 seconds between Grenade Goron and Poly. 12 seconds, that means about 6 seconds gained in 1 lap. If he keeps that up, he'll be right on the rear at the end of the last lap of the race. But I don't think Poly will keep this position. I don't think he can do it. It's not because he's any bad, but because, yeah, it's coming down quick now. And we have another yellow flag. One of the Alfa Romeos is spun out, but I'm too interested and too intrigued by this battle to switch to that at the moment. Mercedes has spun. I think that's Kieran. Kieran has spun. His soft tires are not working anymore. However, Polypunk is still keeping it on the track. However, look at Grenade Goron then, coming closer and closer and closer. Alexander's penalty, that's a great question actually. Let's have a little look there. 3 seconds, that will not be enough. Oh man. 3 seconds, 2.8. It's getting so close, and there he is. There's Poly. Now we can catch both of them in one screen. Polypunk trying with the strategy to stay ahead of Grenade Goron. It hasn't paid off after such a fantastic try to stay on the medium tires. Gaining that track position, starting from P12. The championship leader is now passed. And away he goes. Big Turbina, the other Red Bull then, now gaining on Polypunk. Polypunk starting to fall down massively. And he's already there, look! Polypunk nearly spun himself out. If he isn't careful, he might just crash out and lose even more points. But look at the courage of this man. Oh man. Absolutely incredible. 2 Red Bulls on the podium then today. Don't think anybody said that Big Turbina was going to be on the podium. Kieran, in meanwhile, fallen down to P13. And if Poly isn't careful, then Trixam might pass him as well. Oh man. Look at him struggling to get to that finish line. Trying to keep his car on the track, and there is Trixam. There he is. I think Lars might pass him as well. Jones might even pass him. XTXP might even pass him. He might fall down to P8 if he isn't careful. And there he goes. He knows it's no good to try and defend. Fallen down to P5 now. What can he do in those final few corners? Where will he finish? There goes the next car. It's Lars. Inside. As Alexander has won the race. Yes, sorry about that. It's just absolutely incredible. Alexander won the Hungary Grand Prix, and Polypunk is, I think, going to fall down to P8. Yes, he is. Grenade Goron coming out in second place. And Big Turbina will complete the podium in P3. Absolute dominance by Alexander, by the way. What a race from that man. And there he is then, Polypunk. While technically still he made a position from 12th place, he'll be super disappointed here. Man, what a race. What a race. Congratulations to Alexander. Dominant in qualifying, dominant in the race. 17 seconds over his nearest competitor in second place. He'll do some good business there for the driver and constructor championship, along with his teammate Big Turbina. Red Bull will score some big points tonight. But man... Now I'm very curious who you would like to be driver of the day. Who would that be? Let me actually grab the position change. So that might help you a little bit there. Look at PW Jones, for example, from P15 to P5. So that might be a contender there. The race is over. Everybody has crossed the line. It's complete. It's done. And what a final 5 laps they've been. Paulie and Kieran took the gamble, and it paid off terribly. I'm so sorry for both of them. I will jump into the commentary booth for the interviews in a moment, yes, certainly. But let's have a little look at the podium here, as Alexander can hold up that winner's trophy. Well done to him. What on earth is this? Nothing to see here. Oh, I didn't want to do that actually. I wanted to show you the final results before I jump into the commentary booth. PW Jones also takes the fastest lap, by the way, so he might be a serious contender for driver of the day there. So a Swedish 1-2. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now I will properly transition into the commentary booth. I go. If there's anybody wishing an interview, I will probably see them in the interview waiting room. I believe that's how it works. Definitely interested to hear from the race winner. I'd like to hear from Grenade Goran, from Paulie, from PW, from many people. I'd like to hear several things. Oh, somebody jumped into my commentary booth that wasn't in this league, or in this tier, I believe. So awesome job by the Swedish drivers. Hopefully I made a screenshot there from the standings. Otherwise I'm gonna have to do it from the top of my head. I'll try and go back to the results. I think I saved a screenshot. No, I didn't. That's very unfortunate. The results, unfortunately, have already passed. Can't go back to them anymore. Next time I'll make sure to scroll down to the bottom 6, but just there's so much going on. And we have, ladies and gentlemen, several drivers waiting for the interviews here. Let's do it in order. And let's drag in Alexander here. Alexander, if you can hear me, please let me know. Let's see if I can unmute you. How do I do that? Let's see if this works. I believe that has worked. Alexander, can you hear me? Worked. Excellent. Well, first of all, congratulations. And let me be the first to say that it was quite a dominant performance.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was a really hard race. It was fun as well.
So, quite far ahead in qualifying, quite far ahead in the Grand Prix than in the race. Did the rain affect your strategy in any way?
I don't think it affected me really that much because I had such a huge gap. The only thing that affected me for the whole past 10 laps was the 3-second time penalty I got.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess you could say that the rain, because I'm usually pretty fast in the rain. I like to drive in the rain. I would say that helped me just a little bit, but I think I had the right pace to go on and still win the race.
Definitely, and actually, let me grab the driver standings currently. You are in 6th place, just 40 points behind the championship leader. Do you think you can keep up this momentum and maybe fight for the title in Tier 4?
Yeah, that's my goal. Trying to catch René Goran as fast as possible. He did a mega drive today as well, starting from, I think, P6 and ending up P2. But it's going to be a challenge, it really is. But I'm looking forward to it.
And lastly, of course, you now got a double podium with Big Turbina and P3. So looking good for the constructors then as well?
Yeah, we will have a huge party, the Red Bull team. Big Turbina, I'm really proud of him. That Red Bull podium, 1 and 2, is perfect.
All right. Thank you so much for the insight. Congratulations again. And let's see what you can do in the next few races.
Thank you.
All right. Cheers. Have a good evening.
Cheers.
Now then, let's move on to the man in P2. It is Grenade Goran. Let me unmute him there for a second. Hello there, Grenade Goran. 2nd place then for you, overtaking your championship rival. How was that race for you?
Yeah, that was important overtake. But it was, as always, super sweaty, and I'm tired and need to take a shower now. But it was it was a fun race, clean all the time, and yeah, it was super fun.
Do you actually consider Poli to be your nearest rival? Because after today, he made a wrong strategy call.
Yeah, I'm a bit slower maybe, but I'm pretty safe on the track, and he I don't know, he do the wrong strategy and crash sometimes. So I think my biggest what do you call him, rival is Jew Alexander, the Swedish man.
Oh yes, he just told me he's actually trying to fight for the title, so you might actually get plenty of rivals here.
Yeah, but I don't know which track it is next week.
Belgium.
Yeah, but then I beat him 100%.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to see that happening. Congratulations on your 2nd place, and we'll see you again next week in Belgium.
Yeah, thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. All right. And we also have the man in 3rd place, Big Turbina. And the first question I'd like to ask is, did you expect a podium today?
Yes.
All right. So you must be very happy then.
Well, considering the circumstances that I had like 2 game crashes, one in quali and one in race, podium was very good.
Just a little bit thing in between. Sorry, I just said Belgium, but I was wrong. It's actually Singapore next week. So that's my bad, actually. Anyway, you had quite a bit of fight on your hands at the start of the race with Disaster, for example. What happened there?
With Disaster? I had a fight with him. I didn't really.
What?
I mean, in turn 1, maybe.
Yeah, it was quite close with you two at the beginning of the race, but he spun out at some point.
I didn't spin out. Disaster spun out.
Yeah, that's what I tried to say. Disaster spun out. So.
No, he spun out just by following. It wasn't in a fight.
I see.
It was just following.
I see, yeah, okay. So I didn't see properly what exactly happened there, but, you know, those things happen. Anyway, a double podium for Red Bull. Do you consider your team to be constructor title contenders?
Of course. Now we're getting some nice points, and I don't see why we can't do this every week.
What do you think of next week, Singapore? Will you be able to pull off something, or maybe even better?
Love the track, at least on the 2020 F1. Let's see how it is with the new curbs, but love the track.
All right, well, favorites. Awesome. Let's find out next week how everybody will be doing. Thank you for joining, and enjoy your podium.
Okay, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that is about it for the interviews. Nobody else unfortunately joined. I am not able to reach Poli tonight. which is a shame. I would love to hear his point of view from the race and the qualifying, because if you follow this from start to end, you've actually seen that his luck has been absolutely terrible after crashing twice in qualifying, spinning once, invalidating a lap once, and then getting the strategy call wrong at the final stage of the race. It must have been a very tough day for him. Still, though, he managed to climb up from P12 to P8. So, well done to him. Either way, that was it for tonight. Let me say again that next week, on Monday, 25th of October, we will be having a race at Singapore. After that, we'll be having a week break, after which we'll be going to France on November 8th, and followed by Spain, Austria, Mexico, and Brazil. And that will be the final round of this tier, and probably all other tiers. So then, thank you so much for joining. I do hope you enjoyed all of the commentary, all of the action, the drivers, the racing, everything. And of course, make sure to tune in tonight for the Americas Tier 2. Thank you very much. Let's see how they will take on the fight on this track. Have a great evening. Enjoy whatever you're doing, and I will see you all next week. Oh, and of course, I'll also see you this Thursday for Tier 1. Have a great night, and see you later.